Hey there, VCE HHD students. My name's Andy. I'm a VCE Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video, we're going to look at answering the 2022 VCE HHD exam, question number 4. Before we dive into question number 4, just a reminder at the Health Resources Hub YouTube channel, a new video like this one is coming out each day between now and the HHD exam this year. There's over 100 videos available there to help support you in the lead up to the exam this year. You can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there. Please let your HHD friends know about this too. You can see our social media links there if you'd like to follow us and get alerts to the new videos coming out each day, as well as HHD exam tips and advice. Now email if you've got any questions or suggestions for videos you'd like me to work on. You can see here question 4 from the 2022 exam was worth 5 marks, and it started with some stimulus material that was looking at the death rate by cause and remoteness for selected diseases. On the left there, on the y-axis, you can see it's talking about the age standardized death rate per 100,000 people, so that's obviously important to take note of, that unit. And then along the x-axis there, you can see were the different diseases, and the key was talking about very remote and major cities, okay, depending on how the bar was shaded. So you can see that A for 1 mark was asking you to identify a trend that's evident in the graph above. And you'll note it doesn't say using data, okay, so you just had to identify a trend. Now, if you look at that information there, you can see as you move from major cities to very remote areas, there is an increase in the age standardized death rate per 100,000 people for all of those conditions. So that's probably a good trend to choose. B, okay, for 4 marks was asking you to use one disease shown in the graph on page 6, identify 2 sociocultural factors that contribute to the trend identified in part A. So if you did do the trend that I just mentioned in part A, that meant that it was easy for you to choose any of those diseases that that were present in the graph. So you could have chosen coronary heart disease, for example. And so then you had to choose 2 sociocultural factors and demonstrate how those sociocultural factors would lead to an increase in coronary heart disease deaths, okay, as you move from major cities to very remote areas. So you can see that only 4% of students were able to achieve full marks for this particular question, but I don't think that if you've practiced these types of questions, it should be that challenging. I would always encourage students to choose sociocultural factors that are relatively straightforward, and so the ones that I would always probably encourage students to use are things like income and education. And so you can see here in the examiner's report they gave an example of a high scoring response that did, okay, choose education and income. So the first sentence in these questions should always be talking about the difference in that particular factor for the group that you're looking at. So you can see here this student has done that. They said people living outside major cities can be less educated than those living in major cities. So it's really talking about the fact that that trend there, okay, about people having high levels of coronary heart disease deaths, okay, can be linked to education. And so they said that as a result, they often have less health literacy, which is ability to understand health recommendations and promotion, including the importance of regularly seeing a GP or doctor for checkups. And then heart disease may be caught early and may prevent death. And as a result, those living in more remote areas experience higher death rates of coronary heart disease than those living in major cities. And then for income, they mentioned that people living outside major cities often have a lower income than those in major cities. A lower income means they might have a tendency to buy cheaper processed foods that are higher in salt, sugar, and fat, and this energy-dense food can cause obesity, which is a risk factor for coronary heart disease. And as a result, more remote people have more rates of coronary heart disease, dying from it, those in major cities. So they're linking back to that higher, okay, rate of death for those living outside major cities or in very remote areas compared to those within major cities. So that's definitely something that's worth practicing, and you might want to try with a range of different sociocultural factors so that you can get the hang of it. Okay, hopefully you found that video useful. A reminder, Health Resource Hub YouTube channel, our social media links, and our email. Thanks so much.